Hi, everybody. Let me introduce to you what we're doing this week in American Cultures class. We are starting in on the early 1800s, the age of Jefferson. We've got the new government running and operating, and now the United States is starting to grow in size and in power and even in a little bit of prestige with other countries around the world. So on Monday, today, we are working on Lewis and Clark for one more day, where the United States will purchase the Louisiana Purchase, and that will greatly expand the size of the country, the whole way out to the Rocky Mountains. So you'll spend some time today on Lewis and Clark. They are two explorers hired by Thomas Jefferson to go out and find out what's out there in the territory. On Tuesday, we'll see the first time the American military leaves the United States to go deal with a problem. That's the story of the Barbary Pirates. Now, the pirates are operating in the Mediterranean Sea, and you're going to say, oh, the pirates of the Mediterranean. No, wait, that's the pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, these Barbary pirates are in the Mediterranean Sea in between Europe and Africa, and the United States will have to go deal with that problem. So that's our Tuesday story. Please remember we're Zooming together on Tuesday and Thursday of this week. You will be able to see on Tuesday's workflow what time you Zoom with me, depending which class period you're in. And if you don't know which class period you're in because you're distance learners, that's a document there where it says click here to see when you Zoom with Mr. Clark. The big deal of the Zoom meetings this week is trade book. We'll talk about that in a minute. Wednesday, as far as class goes, America is going to fight kind of a second war for independence called the War of 1812. Raise your hand if you can guess what year that war started in. I see a lot of hands. I can't get much past you. That's 1812. Sure. So the War of 1812 is kind of like America starting to grow up a little bit. Maybe you are personally frustrated that you're a kid, but you're growing up, and sometimes you're still treated like a little kid. You don't really like that. Well, the United States is kind of that way at this point in our history in the early 1800s. We start to think we're growing up and becoming powerful, and we should be able to handle more decision making, and we should be treated like an adult nation among adult nations, and it's just not happening. So that's a lot of the story of the War of 1812 is, well, some nations are going to start to sit up and pay attention to the United States, which is really good. Plus, we get a poem which later becomes a song called the Star Spangled Banner from the War of 1812. That's our national anthem today. On Thursday, we're doing a little bit of a thing called the Monroe Doctrine, and the last of the international stories we're doing this week. Lewis and Clark, Barbary Pirates, War of 1812, and then the Monroe Doctrine all have to do with our relationship with foreign countries. We'll also Zoom on Thursday about trade books. Now, really what we're doing is when we Zoom, you're being introduced to how you do the culture activities, which are the real event of why we are reading Fever 1793. We're learning about culture of early America and comparing that to our modern culture. So when you Zoom on Tuesday and on Thursday, then you'll learn how to complete those activities, and we'll show you what you do with that. Please keep in mind, these Zoom meetings are not optional. This is our class for Tuesday and Thursday, slowly starting to get you into joining us eventually every day for class. And so Tuesday and Thursday this week, just like Tuesday and Thursday last week, which about half of you attended. For the other half of you, that's you gotta get on it. You gotta make sure you are with us with Zoom. Everything about how to join is in your workflow for Tuesday and Thursday. Finally, on Friday, we'll have an early dismissal day from school, so you have a really short lesson, which is really completing the third of the three culture activities we're doing. So Zoom with us on Tuesday and Thursday. You'll know all about that. All right, that's our work for this week. Some international issues in the age of Jefferson, the early 1800s.